So yeah, hi guys, for those that don't know me, I'm Lloyd Cole, transport planner at WSP, and today I'm going to be giving a bit of an overview of the West of England Combined Authority Future Transport Programme, and more specifically the Parcels as Passengers coach trials that I've been involved in over the past 6 to 9 months. Okay, so a bit of an overview of what is the Future Transport Zone. It's an approach aimed at trialling innovative transport interventions in the West of England. WECA are working in partnership with a variety of local authorities such as Bath and North East Somerset, Bristol City Council and South Gloucestershire Council on this initiative. And WECA originally received approximately £25 million from the Department for Transport to deliver this programme. So the images below there illustrate some of the themes within the programme. Firstly, we've got the public e-scooters trial that's been ongoing in Bristol for a few years now, and that's received a high level of success and continues. Secondly, on the right there, we've got the campus e-cargo bikes trial. And this trial uses e-cargo bikes as a replacement for courier vans at various locations across Bristol. For example, the Bristol Royal Infirmary Hospital to deliver clinical samples between hospital buildings, and at the University of the West of England, UE, to deliver post. And that example is the one that's pictured there on the right-hand side. And then finally, in the middle there, we've got the Parcels as Passengers trial, which I'll be giving a bit more of an overview throughout this presentation. Okay, so a bit more of an in-depth overview of the Parcels as Passengers trial. It aims to, the main premise is that it aims to utilise unoccupied space on long distance coach journeys to deliver parcels between Bristol and other principal UK cities. The parcels will be from pre-assigned and pre-approved consigners who are wishing to transport their goods. And this approach provides an innovative delivery method which would otherwise use conventional diesel emitting courier vans to transport parcels more conventionally. Secondly, it's a proof of concept trial involving the delivery of a range of goods. And since it's a proof of concept trial, this enables the project team to investigate the positives of the trial, but also the potential drawbacks and the barriers associated with the trial. Thirdly, it involves the use of already operational coach services as a replacement for dedicated courier vans on long-haul services between different cities in the UK. And finally, involves the use of e-cargo bike couriers Zedify to undertake zero-emission first mile and last mile delivery. So to provide a quick, brief journey of the parcel could be collected by a Zedify e-courier in one city, placed on a long-haul UK coach service, and then delivered and collected by a different Zedify e-cargo courier in another city. And the picture there that is on the right-hand side of the slide illustrates a typical cargo bike that's used in a city. So to provide an overview quickly of the different trial movements that are ongoing at the moment. Firstly, we've got the Bristol to Plymouth leg, and this is a weekly shipment of flowers that's been ongoing as a trial since July 2023, and it uses unoccupied space on the South West Falcon service. This is for an organisation, small independent organisation called Freddie's Flowers, and that's the box that they are transported in, are kind of pictured in the bottom left-hand picture. And then secondly, we've got the Bristol to London Victoria coach station leg, and this is the shipment on a more ad hoc basis of first aid kits and camera equipment for the BBC. And this trial is still actually pending at the moment. It hasn't quite started yet. The times of the parcel delivery have been agreed by both the consigner and the operator to ensure that the coaches being used are likely to have available capacity and that they can be delivered within the consigner's required window. So to give an overview of the benefits of the trial then, why we might want to transport parcels in this way. Firstly, the use of e-cargo bikes means that the first mile and the last mile leg of the journey are zero emission. This obviously aligns with numerous policy documents and in particular WECA's climate action plan. Secondly, we've got potential for reduced congestion due to the reduction of courier vans. This is both project benefits on a more local basis, meaning that delivery speeds can be increased, but also more regionally on the wider network across the Southwest. And then finally, and importantly, we've got the diversification of income for commercial coach services. And this is a particularly important benefit at a time where patronage figures have taken a real hit over the past 5 years in the coach industry. And this additional income helps to offset and mitigate against the seasonal differences in income that coach operators can experience, particularly in the southwest of England, whereby patronage is particularly high in the summer and then drops off during the winter months. Okay, to look at some challenges that I've particularly encountered within the trial over the past few months. Firstly, and probably most prominently, is the issue of sustaining regular communication with several different trial partners and having to spin those plates of discussing important things with coach operators, Transport for London, local city councils, and really keeping them on board and progressing and having knowledge of the trial as it progresses. There have also been some specific issues with important messaging not at the very start of the trial not getting through to the coach driver, which is a challenge that we experienced. Secondly is the issue of obtaining goods insurance for the door-to-door transportation of goods for the whole movement. At the start, for lower value goods, some of our stakeholders were happy to operate on a self-insure basis, but for higher value goods, we have been required to obtain goods in transit insurance, and this covers the goods mover and provides them with a bit more confidence that the value of their goods would be reimbursed if anything was to happen to them whilst in transit. And this is a key kind of milestone that we've achieved over the past few months. Thirdly, we've got the nuances and the small issues between moving goods on an ad hoc basis compared to a regular weekly movement of good. And then finally, we've got some specific issues regarding the specific protocols that are required in locations where vehicle times are restrained. For example, in Victoria Coach Station, whereby the vehicle is not allowed to stop for a prolonged period of time and it must promptly relocate once it's dropped off all the passengers. Okay, so to touch upon some risk and some risk mitigation then, just taking a screenshot of some of the key risks there that I've documented throughout this process, namely the unauthorized movement of the consignment whilst it's in transmit, potential breakdown of the coach whilst it's in transit, and the timeliness of the goods reaching their end destination as they're intended to. The biggest mitigation we've implemented against the security and the potential theft of the consignment is that the parcel must always be secure in the hold, and we have used secure locks to secure it to the coach structure, and also items to conceal it and kind of make it a more transparent and less visible. I've also documented there some other key mitigation strategies for the key risks that have been identified. Finally, then, to touch upon some next steps, scalability of the trial. We are currently only doing movements within the southwest of England, and it's a project and initiative that was started by WECA in Bristol. However, there is potential to use the whole national coach network to expand on this service. Secondly, we're looking to officially publicise the success so far that we've obtained in relevant industry websites and magazines such as the CIHT. We're looking to develop an easy-to-use online booking system so that consigners they can be a bit more flexible with their delivery choices. And then finally, we're looking to document some key success indicators. Carbon quantification, we're in the process of developing an accurate method of calculating carbon emissions for each leg of the journey. So this will be able to show specific carbon reduction or carbon saving per parcel movement. And then finally, we're looking to ensure that the trial can be commercially viable on a long-term basis. And we're looking to produce some key stats on the number of percentages of parcels delivered on time. And that's about it. Thanks very much for listening, and happy to take on any questions.
Thank you, Lloyd. Thank you for that. It's a really interesting project and what's being trialled over there. So if anyone has any questions, if you just want to drop them in the chat now. But I guess while we're just waiting for those to come through, Lloyd, what sort of the initial your thoughts on the scalability and how scalable could it be to roll out first wider in Bristol?
Yeah,
and
difficult.
Potentially nationally.
Difficult, to be fair. Obviously, it's something that started quite locally in Bristol, and as I've said, sort of the challenges of getting so many different project partners and stakeholders on board and keeping them moving and aligned and keeping them in the know about what's happening is a big challenge, but there's no reason why it can't be expanded. I think the most important thing is that the movement of parcels between two cities has a direct coach link, and although there's an abundance of coach links in the South West, there's also an abundance of coach links throughout the country, and we've got coach operators like Megabus and the Falcon on board with this. So it's just a case of really, hammering home the benefits, and there's no reason why it can't be expanded, but it's a challenging procedure, definitely.
On that, Lloyd, which of the stakeholders that you've worked with do you think poses the sort of biggest challenge in that scalability?
I don't know, that's a difficult question. Wouldn't wish to
without
reflecting
too badly on someone.
Yeah,
I suppose in terms of groups of stakeholders.
I think coach operators really, like, the issue. Obviously, this is a trial that started back in the summer, and that's where, I think it was literally the week of Glastonbury that we started this trial, and they clearly had bigger priorities in getting people to Glastonbury, other than seeing they're on board with this trial, but it's not a priority for them. So really trying to emphasize the benefits of it is essential. But yeah, the issue of seasonality with the coach operators, I'd say, was probably the biggest hurdle in getting this moving.
Yeah, go on, Neil. I think it's one from Neil.
Yeah, thanks, Lloyd. That's a very interesting topic. I'm intrigued. I think when I was a child many years ago in a rural Scottish area, I remember parcels being carried on the local bus service then. But clearly, it's about taking advantage of the existing carriage facility. Now, I understand this market is quite competitive. People who work in the bus industry, in terms of offering bus services and long distance coach, they're very familiar with the phrase, the competitive response. So when they're doing something well, and hopefully this can be a success, there is a response from people who compete in the sector. I mean, have you had any thoughts what the competitive responses might be from existing couriers?
Not really. So just to clarify, then, you mean not in terms of the coach operators, in terms of
the carriage of parcels? The
couriers,
the GPDs and people.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an avenue, and if we highlight the environmental benefits or the potential for the environmental benefits throughout the trial, if that's something that they kind of would like to get on board with and want to kind of showcase that, then I think that's definitely possibility, but no, it's not. If I'm completely honest, it's not something that I've paid too much attention to or considered too much within this stage of the project. I think we're still at a relatively early stage. We're still trialing movements, and that is definitely something we'll have to consider further down the line. But yeah, no, sorry, I haven't given too much thought to that. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough, Lloyd. I mean, at this stage of your trial, I understand there. I guess maybe lying behind my question is perhaps a personal annoyance at the number of courier vans who travel at high speeds into residential areas, you know, causing hazard to other
Yeah,
road
I mean,
users.
especially since COVID, there's been a lot more kind of courier growth has been pretty exponential. So yeah, no, I understand those thoughts.
No, fair enough. Thank you.
Cool. Cheers. Thank you.
Okay, I'm not seeing any more questions in the box, so I'd say thank you very much, Lloyd. It's certainly an interesting project, and all the best with the trials going forward.